Early explorers regarded this area as barren, desolate and hostile. How different the opinions of people are today, with Shark Bay being a World Heritage Area and visited by millions of people from across the world. The beauty of this place comes not from things like green fields, tall trees and mountains, but from the isolation, the ruggedness, the pristine coastline, and the magic of raw nature. Many people are beginning to see the land through the eyes of the First Nations people. The Aborigines saw the land not as something we possessed, but as something to be looked after and something that, in the end, possesses us. We visited Tamala Station in mid to late June, and it turned out that it really wasn't the best time to go there for fishing. But in the end, that didn't matter at all. There was plenty to do, plenty to keep us busy, and despite a bit of rain, we still managed to get out and do a bit of exploring, see a little bit more than just the campsites, and get a feel for what the place really had to offer. One of the most interesting places we came across on the Peninsula was this large tidal lagoon. There are tracks leading down to both sides of the channel that runs from the sea all the way into the landlocked lagoon. It did look like an interesting place for fishing, but we didn't get the chance, so we can't really tell you whether there were any fish in there or not. But I suspect at certain times of the year you would probably catch whiting and probably other species too in the channel that leads into the lagoon. The tracks on Tamala Station are mostly in pretty good shape. There are quite a few to explore, and there wasn't a time when travelling on the tracks that we ever needed to engage four-wheel drive. There are some rocky sections that require a bit of care to negotiate, but apart from a few corrugations, all the tracks we came across were very easy to get through. If you keep your eyes open while you're driving around the station, you'll undoubtedly see some of the local wildlife. This pair of emus were a lot more interested in preening than they were in anything we were doing. Despite the ideal looking location, it isn't actually possible to camp by the lagoon, but it is a really good spot for a drive and a nice place to go and have a walk. The channel may even be a good place for a dip if you're there on a hot day. type of well, I guess. One hopes there's no goats at the bottom of that. Obviously water storage of some sort, but whether it's used or not these days I don't know. Pretty empty, not very deep. Interesting top end here, looks like it was done with some sort of sandbags to just raise the level a bit. Some old drywall stonework here. Certainly looks like drywall, or is it? Oh no, there's a bit of mortar in there. Okay, not drywall, but some interesting old stonework. Don't know how old this one is. If you go camping and you don't have a lot of room for potatoes in your freezer or chips, what you can do, grab yourself one of these little gizmos, fairly light, doesn't take up an awful lot of room. Then all you need is your ordinary spuds, and you can use those for mash or whatever else you like. You're not stuck just with chips. Pop them in the chip maker. And immediately you got perfect chips. You can then shallow fry those, have them with steak, and we're going to have them with some burgers tonight. Nice easy job. As long as the spuds are small enough you can do a whole one. Nice and easy. Some of them do come with different size blades in there, so you can do shoestrings, but these ones seem good enough for me. We'll give you a look at them frying later on, show you the results. And this is the end result of chopping your own chips. Some nice fries. Depends on the potatoes you use. Some potatoes are better at frying than others. These ones we've got with us at the moment aren't the best for fries, but doesn't really matter. Crisp them up enough, keep them in the oil long enough, and they will crisp eventually. They tend to be a little soggy if you try to pull them out too early, that's all. And on the other side there we have some venison burgers from Margaret River. So not a bad meal tonight, even though the weather today has been pretty awful. Well, the day was looking pretty good until I decided to do a campfire and some jacket potatoes for dinner, and then the weather turned a bit nasty, but we got the campfire going, so hopefully we're going to get things done before it decides to pour with rain. Stuck some charcoal and some heat beads in there to get things going a lot quicker, but it's always nice just to have a campfire. This is a pretty nice place to sit back and relax, and would be doing a whole lot better if that was blue sky and the sun setting on the island, but well, you just work with what you got at the time, I guess. There's a little bit of sunshine on the island anyway as the sun goes down. Second last night. Tomorrow night's the last night here. Going to be very, very sorry to leave this place. It's been an absolutely magic stay. If only we caught a few fish it would have been paradise, but it's pretty close to it anyway, even without the fish. I'm sure if we came here at a different time of year we probably would have done a whole lot better with regards to fishing, but in any case, Tamala Station, couldn't recommend the place highly enough. Absolutely beautiful, pristine coastline, gorgeous water, clear crystal waters, dolphins. Well, no fish, but not for us this time. Who cares? This has just been a wonderful trip. Very glad we did it. The 8 months preparation and the money we spent getting up here was Probably a little bit of stress we could have done without, but I really wouldn't mind coming back here at all. We've got a nice big bucket of fresh rainwater there. It's come down off the top of the camper trailer. We had a lot of rainfall on Sunday, so we know the top's pretty clean, so the water we've got in the bucket now could even be used as drinking water if we needed it. We've been covered a bit more of the wet and rainy weather. We've only got a couple more days here before we have to go, so we're really hoping now that we're going to get a bit of sunshine to dry everything out. Had quite a bit of rain this morning. Managed to collect about 40 litres of rainwater since we've been here. That's Sunday and today. So the fresh water is appreciated, but we do want some dry weather now. Considering yesterday, the sun coming out and drying everything out really well, it only takes a day to get everything back to normal. So just cross our fingers and hope for that nice clear weather that most of the time up here has been. Rain coming down not more than about an hour ago, and we couldn't even see the island out there, so it's amazing how quickly the weather changes things here. Thankfully we're sitting on a sandy base. There's no red dirt or muddy sort of stuff at this site, so I think most of the campsites have got good sandy base, so they're good places to camp even if it's raining. You're not going to get too messy. Well, we've got just a couple of days left at Tamala Station. Going to be very sad to go home. Absolutely beautiful spot down here. 3 Bays North is, because it's a private beach, I guess it's even more special than the beaches you're sharing with other people, but there's not a lot of people here this time of year. The only beach that's actually been busy has been Shell Beach. The rest of them, at least on this peninsula, have been pretty quiet. When we had a look down at 3 Bays, there was only one camper down there. There were only a couple up at Tea Tree, and there were only probably 2 or 3 up at Nana's. So really not a lot of people around. Now I guess I can see why that is, because we found out the hard way that the fish just don't seem to be here this time of year. There's an awful lot of sand and weed out there, and I really would have expected to pick up a few whiting, but not even any whiting. All we caught here were butterfish, and Belle caught 1 bream off the rocks here, right behind the tent there. But very disappointing as far as fishing is concerned, but it really doesn't matter because this is such a beautiful place. We've really enjoyed ourselves here. Would I come back? Being a fisherman, I would only come back if I had a bigger boat and had a much better chance of getting some fish. I adore beach campsites like this. For years we were going up to Cleaverville, and we enjoyed that immensely because it was a great place to camp. It was only 30 k's from Karratha, and you could catch a heap of really good fish up there. So if we could get here in the right season, although I really don't want to be here when it's stinking hot, if there's some other time of year when the fish do come in and they're easier to catch, or if we come up with the bigger dinghy next time with the bigger engine on it, maybe we'll do better. But I think the next trip we're going to plan is going to be up closer to Exmouth. We have never really fished the west side of the Cape. The likelihood is the next place we go to on a big trip will be Warra Station. I've seen some video of that. A few people have been doing videos of their stays in there. So we're probably going to give that one a go next time, but probably about 12 months away yet. We'll be doing a number of short trips, I expect, before the end of the year. We usually do a fair bit of running around with the coaster, which is infinitely easier to camp with. So wherever we go next time, I hope to see you. I hope you turn up on the channel and have a look at what we've got. Don't forget to click that old like button down the bottom if you like what we're doing, and subscribe to the channel as well. Thanks for watching the series, and I hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed staying up here. You really can't beat a view like that when you wake up in the morning, so hope to see you around. Cheers. Well, this is it. All packed up and sadly heading back to Perth. It's been a good trip. Hopefully we're not going to have any hassles on the way home. We're stacked to the top and just crossing our fingers that everything goes well on the trip back.